Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and it's been a minute since I've uploaded a video, but I've got an August showing of my miniatures coming up, and I need my miniatures to be able to sit on a 14-inch shelf. So I'm going to pick my book up for just a second, and I'm going to see. That's about right. This will work, but it's going to be, there's going to be, where you're seeing the back of the book, there's going to be a square box put in there. So I got to figure out how big I want my box and how it'll fit, like so, right? So this is going to, they're called book nooks, but I'm just going to set them up inside the shelf, and I'm going to create 2 or 3 different kinds of books. So if you want to craft along, get a book, whatever size you like, and then we're going to start, first of all, honestly, just gluing the pages together. So we're going to glue each section of page to itself, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy, because when it's all said and done, it's going to look like this. We're going to go all the way to the middle. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to go all the way to the middle. Okay? And then it will set up like this. And we'll come back in and we'll rework those pages. Alright? So go ahead and get your book and just start gluing your pages down all the way to the center. Okay? All the way to the middle. And then when we return, we will sit our square box up. Now I'm not getting too technical here. Again, like I said, this part isn't going to really make a huge bit of difference. It's just that we don't want our pages coming open, right? So, and it doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. You could have your book partially, partially read, fully read, open to the middle, on the last page, however you want to do it. I just chose halfway. Okay, so if you're gonna craft along with me, get your book and start doing this. Okay, so when I come back, we'll have this all glued together, and I'll show you what's going to happen to the inside. We'll start building the box. See you soon. Okay guys, so next up is our base, and we went with 8.5 by 8.5. I'm hoping that's going to make a nice fit for our book. Just get this set down here. You can see the corner there. So our book, or floor, should sit right inside this book. Now remember, it's going to come up. So it should sit right like so, here and here. And it won't sit exactly up to, but if we can get it close, we'll be doing okay. Because remember, this is just, I think we can. Yeah, I think we can. We're going to build it. We're going to keep it as is. And see, we just want it so it fits. And it'll come up about 1.5 inches. I'm kind of hoping it gets a little better fit than that. And I might actually glue it up to the book, right? I might pull a few pages loose and glue it to our sides we're getting ready to put in. Okay, so let's just keep going. We'll adjust the book to fit to the thing. Okay, so all I did was I glued 2 of my pieces of watercolor paper together, and we're going to lay this down fold this. I think I can actually fold this in half. I don't think I need all of that. Because this is just going to hold it together. This is going to be an extra set of hands for us. Just an extra set of hands. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to glue it to here. And then we're going to glue this one to this. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the outside of this with a white cardstock. And the reason we're doing that is because watercolor paper will definitely warp if it gets wet. So that works as well with glue. So if you don't want to use watercolor paper, you're always free to use cardboard, cereal box, whatever you can get your hands on to build the space. Okay, and then here, here. This I'm going to turn around to do, because for me it works easier. And then we're going to put this right to the edge of this guy on both ends. Okay, level that out, and see now it should fit right in there. So we'll have, you can see this, but we're going to cover that up. This might need to go a little closer. There we go. And that will be a part that gets glued inside the book. Now we're going to do the same for this piece. And glue two pieces together. Gonna glue two pieces together. So this is just the bones of our book nook. Okay, this is just the base, and then everything else gets added to it. Okay, so another piece, fold it in half, and glue to that edge. Yes, sir. This part goes rather quickly, honestly. It doesn't take long. Okay. Doesn't take long for this part. Right up to the edge. Okay, glue it down. And this next piece gets glued to here and all the way around, and then we'll work on the corners. Just like so. And if I played my cards right, these two should butt up right next to each other here in this corner. Okay, forgot to cut it. That would have helped, right? That would have helped. That's okay. We are there now. I just cut that little piece off. And so these two should form a corner. I cut a little too much off, but again, that's going to be okay, because was that enough? Yeah, we'll cut this one in half too. Yep. It is forgiving. Paper is very forgiving. And when we go to put the the white cardstock on there, and then we'll put our top piece on. Alright, so this guy will go here, glued down. I got a piece for here glued down. Alright, this guy will go here, right up to that edge, and then this guy will go here, right up to that edge. So now you got something that looks like this, okay? we're going to do the same for this side and this side. And then when we come back, we will start working on, I won't even show you, I'll do the white cardstock already. And then when we return, we'll start to do the flooring. The actual, honest to goodness, bona fide flooring. And again, all this does is serves to make an extra set of hands. This just kind of helps keep the base together while you work on it. Let me get a pencil. I'm going to pencil this right down here so I can cut that off. Right there. Where's my guillotine? I have a little tiny guillotine, guys, that I always manage to lose when I sit down to start crafting. So I've got a couple of houses that are already small enough to work. I'll cut another piece because I gotta have two. Must have two. So yeah, I've got a couple of other things that I'm going to try to get together. I don't have to have this done until August 1st, thank God. Because I don't know. I mean, I have a couple already made ones. But can you imagine? I'm filling a four shelf unit with my dollhouse miniatures. I'm going to put a couple book nooks in there. I've got a couple little room boxes in there. And then I'm going to do what I'm going to do is, how do I want to say? I'm going to show supplies like glue, cardboard, scissors, etc. I'm going to show some patterns. And then I'm going to show how it goes together to make your room box. So then in the summer program for the children, the library always puts on activities for kids. So what I'll wind up doing is possibly doing a class with them. And I think when we open up our new rec center, I may be doing a class or 2 or 6 with these, maybe a 6-week course. Okay, let's get this flush up against. Perfect. Now we can do the same thing, and we can get a piece of paper in there. Right in there. And we're moving around. I only got one more piece to go, so I think I'll go off camera to do that. And then when we return, guys, the cardstock will be on, and all I'm going to do is just cut the cardstock to fit the outer edge of this watercolor paper. And I'm going to glue it down so we can use wet glue. Not super wet glue, but enough that it won't warp. Because I really don't want the project to warp. And again, you can use whatever you like. You don't have to worry about warping if you use some sort of cardboards, but again, you do, you know. Anything paper can and will warp. All right, last one, and when we come back, we'll be working on the floor. All right, thanks for sticking around, guys. I'll see you in the next section. All right, guys, just real quick, when I went to put it together, it was about this much too big on one side and about that much too big on the other, so I marked it. The nice thing is I can just get my big guillotine out and cut it. The only piece that'll change will be this piece. Yes, and that piece, but we're going to cut it so it matches. The only thing we'll really have to alter is this one, so stay tuned for the next part. Alright guys, just real quick, when I went to put it together, it was about this much too big on one side and about that much too big on the other, so I marked it. The nice thing is I can just get my big guillotine out and cut it. The only piece that'll change will be this piece. Yes, and that piece, but we're going to cut it so it matches. The only thing we'll really have to alter is this one, so stay tuned for the next part. Okay guys, this is the less than attractive part, but what we're going to do is we're going to glue this onto the watercolor paper. Basically, I'm just going to use this foam adhesive. And we're going to do this. And this is what you will do if you're going to follow along. And then we're going to move it around so we get really good coverage. Right, and then we're going to lay our box somewhat center, right? We're going to press it down. Now this does not have to be pretty because we're going to cover it. We just want a barrier between the watercolor paper and our floor covering. Okay, that's it. So then you're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to glue, and I'm showing you, we're just going to glue this really well. Sort of like wrapping a Christmas gift, right? Pull that up as tight as you can get it. And then smooth it down, just like so. Okay, and then same thing on this side. Glue. I probably should have done this with the other side, but I didn't think about it. Okay, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to put that down nice and good, nice and well. Alright, and then we're going to cut this to go inside. We're going to cut this to go inside, and then we'll cover this sides over here. Okay? Alright, so then when we come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the floor. And then you can do the floor any way you want, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. Alright guys, see you in the next video. Alright guys, while we're waiting for my glue to reach the opening here where it's supposed to be, I want to show you how to lay flooring. Flooring and shingles and bricks all work about the same way. So you're going to want to start, I cut these on my Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut, you can use popsicle sticks. You can get a ruler and go the old-fashioned way and just glue them or cut them, you know, strips at a time. You can also probably buy them. But you're going to start one here, right? Alright, and then the next one, it needs to be shorter. So see, I got some long ones and some short ones. So our next one's going to go there, and it's going to be, scoot over there, a short one. Okay, this one will go here. Just like so. And you're going to do this all the way across, all the way across. So then the first one was a long one, so the second one would be a short one, and it's probably a good idea to have them separated before you start. Short ones in one pile, long ones in the other. Basically, like I said, you're just going to go across the floor, gluing them down. And that, unfortunately, takes time. So I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to start, gluing. And fortunately, our floor isn't that huge, so it should go pretty quick. And then once we're done, we'll do the same for the sides. Or you can paint it. I'm going to go ahead and put these if I have enough. Hoping, fingers crossed, I have enough. Hoping, fingers crossed, I have enough. Okay, that should do it. Short side, long sides over here. And then I'm just going to pull all my shorts out. Okay? Because I can't stretch a short, but I can cut a long. Okay, that should do it. And if I need more, I'll hopefully have this same color of cardstock somewhere. All right, so I'm going to move now this one. Okay, so that one was a long, so this one will be a short. Okay, this one was a short, so this one will be a long. And eventually you're going to get this nice pattern in your floor. I don't know if you can see it. You're going to get a nice pattern like that. And it should go across, and it should go across. So that's what we're doing. And when we come back, magically, at least the top portion will be done. Then I'll show you how I'm going to paint it. And then we're going to move on to decorating the walls. Okay, guys, so stick around. In the very next video, we will have the floor finished, and we're going to start working on the walls. All right, hang in there, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, guys, this is the final section. I know this is a long ways of getting this done, but it's the best way of getting it done. And I'm wondering, I think I'm going to save the black. We're going to start with this dark brown, and we're going to paint our floor. Okay, I put my paint on. Guess I can put it on here. This will work. So we're going to start painting. And believe it or not, this is the biggest set of brushes I could find. And I have tons, but this doesn't take long because we don't have to be super precise. You just got to get it on there. Although it could take a minute. So when we come back, we'll have this first coat of brown on, and it's your choice. You may not want a dark floor. This is just my go-to. Just my go-to. Okay, and then we'll let this dry, and then we come back, we're going to take the second coat, and we're going to dry brush it on there, but not solid. Okay, so get that first coat of brown on. Okay, we're going to speed this up, miraculously have that first coat on when we get back. Alright guys, that's the last and final part. It is a little bit shiny, but not super duper shiny. Okay, we got a nice clear coat on there. Got a few little brush hairs in there, but that's pretty okay. I'll go back over it. I mean, if you're looking at it from afar, you're not going to see those. And this is just a display. It's It's not anything I'm selling or wanting to make money off of. It's just for fun. Okay, so now our book goes in here like so. Okay, and then this guy will go here. And then I'll probably put Velcro so it'll hold it. And that's our floor. Okay, and then I'll do this 2 outsides with the other paper and paint them to match the top. All right, we're now ready to get started on the decorations in the next video, and I will be trying out some different things. One of the things I want to do, I brought a piece of furniture to show you, is test out scale. What did I do with the cat? I brought a little picnic bench. I know I did. I brought a little picnic bench in. Here it is. So see, there would be your chair. And then up here would be your window. And then over here would be a window or other stuff. Now I'm going to try to make mine 3D, and let me show you what I mean by 3D before we get out of this video. Take all of this down. When I say 3D, I mean, this is another room box I need to finish up. So if you look in the back here, you see that window. And through that window you can see a field. If I recall, it's grapes. See? Let's see if I can tilt it so you can see. So it's like looking outside. So when we do room box, it'll have a piece cut out here through so many pages, like 6 or 8 pages, thick enough for popsicle sticks to fit in. And I'll frame it out, and then it'll have a front with a scenery in the back, and then the fake window over it, and then a frame, and then curtains, so it'll look real. But we don't have to go back too far. And then basically what I will do is I will draw that in, and I'm thinking probably right about where we need it to go straight across. I'm not going to see now, given the way I am, I was getting ready to just jump into that. So we'll probably go like this. And see our lines right there. And that one kind of went uphill, didn't it? Like this. It still looks like it's going uphill or downhill. We got to have it straight, that's for sure. I'll straighten it up in another video, but we'll have a hole cut here and a hole cut here, and those will be our windows. And then the floor will go in, and then on top of the floor, and it'll be connected to the book, will be a bookshelf. But it'll be glued to the book, and when the floor goes in, the floor will sit level. And I'll have to show you, okay? It's really cool how I think this is going to work, or it's my version of how I think it works. All right, guys, that being said, I'll see you in the next video.